What's up, everyone? This is the Next Day podcast with Mikel and
Tanyka.
we have conversations on different topics. So today's episode, we're just going to be talking about anything and everything. Uh, so what are we going to be doing today, Tanika?
Well, we got a bunch of different topics.
Mm-hmm.
We're just gonna go through them as we go,
Okay.
as we
Okay.
normally
All
do.
right. Let's do it.
Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about, it's kind of an update, but kind of not. Um, it is involving Diddy, kind of, but did you hear about Usher and his thoughts and feelings about this whole situation with Diddy?
Uh, I haven't heard too much about Diddy a lot. The only
Well, more so
I would
about
hear from
Usher
Diddy
and
is
his thoughts about it.
I think I heard something like that, and that it did creep my timeline, but it was just like
Yeah.
something wrong. But
This popped up and I'm like, "Oh, I'm curious,"
uh,
because he's been pretty quiet,
mhm,
um, as Diddy's one of Diddy's first proteges, and, like, I'm just curious to know what his thoughts are. Um, Here's what he has to say, trigger warning for, Usher's garbage. So, Usher, yeah, speaking about it, um, he basically said that he might be being misrepresented, Diddy.
mhm,
Um, so this is kind of how it went. When asked to play a word association game in a recent interview for Forbes,
mhm, mhm.
Usher was asked what came to mind when he heard Combs's name. He said legacy.
Oh
In many
yeah, I saw that video,
in
clip,
many ways,
whatever.
I think certain people
Yeah,
are prosecuted and maybe not recognized for the greatness that they offer. I don't have anything negative to say about Sean Combs because my experience was not what the world has seen and how he's been misrepresented.
did he say?
Misrepresented? Sir, did you see the video with him beating Cassia? Misrepresented?
Well, it's one thing to say that like he has his own opinion about him, but like to say that he's misrepresented, it's kind of
That's
like
my problem.
yeah, that's it.
That's the problem I
Everybody has
have.
their yeah, everybody has their own opinion
Yeah.
because like about Diddy, because like
Well,
yeah, you can
you
be
can have your
yes,
opinion, but at the end of the day, what's fact is fact. Your opinion means really nothing when fact is fact. You can have your thoughts and feelings and say, he has this legacy, which is 100% correct. He does. He's paved the way for Black music. He was a part of that time when Black music was on the up and up and being recognized. I get it. But to say he is misrepresented, that is an interesting thing to say because I come out of it thinking, okay, Usher, what do you know? What did you see? Because for you to sit here and say he's being misrepresented, I have questions for you. What
mm,
did you see? What were
mm,
you potentially a part of? Like, I don't want to go there and say that he did anything. He's been involved with the Rage Nights or King Nights or whatever the hell they were called. I don't want to say he's a part of that, but I'm just curious of like, what did you witness? What are you not telling the world? I don't know, man. I'm I'm a huge Usher fan. I think with many other people, especially Black people, we all grew up listening to Usher. This one's a blow. This is even more of a blow for me than freaking Diddy doing what he was doing, 'cause
mm,
that didn't shock me. But for Usher to be here, be like, he's misrepresented. What the hell are you talking about?
See, I don't think it's gonna be I see,
It's
I
not going
doubt
to
it.
ruin
I
his
think people are
career.
just gonna be more concerned and critical of him, but I don't think it's gonna be a blow to his
No, 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 no. I'm talking about me
oh,
and
for
how I
yeah.
take it.
Uh-huh.
Because as a woman,
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? And I don't know, like, it's it just makes me wonder, like I said already, what do you know? And I don't wanna come at his choices when it comes to his business and all of that and making money and all of that, but I do have to also then question, like, okay, so you're back in Diddy in a sense, and then here you are doing a tour with Chris Brown, who's had his when it comes to women. Are we just associating ourselves with, like, the absolute wrong crowd? Like, what the heck?
Mm,
Or is Usher a part of that? I don't know. So it gives me pause because,
mm.
like, that's just not what I thought Usher Raymond would be okay with. Just didn't think that. But hey,
See,
you get
now I'm
surprised, right?
now I'm wondering, like, there was, rumors that him and Justin Bieber were, in some type of
There
conflict the other
there
day.
is rumors that Justin Bieber may have seen something when it comes to Diddy, but he's never come forward and said anything.
No, no, not
No
Diddy.
one's come forward and said
Usher.
anything about
I
that.
mean, Usher and him, but the other
Yeah,
day.
yeah, 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 but I'm saying that
Uh,
there could be a
yeah,
connection with
there's.
Diddy as to
Oh yeah.
why
Oh,
that's
okay. So
happened.
there's
Yeah,
no proof. Yeah,
yeah,
there's no
yeah, yeah,
proof
but
of
there's
that.
just no proof of that.
Yeah,
People are
yeah,
speculating.
yeah. Just connecting. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because obviously, like, Justin Bieber is obviously Usher's protege,
Yeah.
but Justin is obviously in the world of Diddy because, you know, Diddy had the label or whatever. I'm not sure if Usher had a label at that point, if he ever has had a label, I don't know. But he was still in the world of Diddy. So that's why they're like,
Mm,
what was Justin a part of? And, that something happened to him because obviously he was a child, and Diddy doesn't gender discriminate, I guess. So it's I don't know, it's very messy, but Usher also has this to say. I'm not saying that every man is perfect. I'm not saying that all of us don't have flaws, but I
mm-hmm,
can't, with any sense of humanity, not recognize the valuable contributions that this man made for us as Black entrepreneurs, for us as businessmen, for us as people who have transitioned culture and ideas into something that's tangible. There's a difference between saying men have flaws or men are imperfect. Um, no human is perfect. Um, like how I'm sure you would say you're not perfect. My boyfriend's not perfect. The men who have crossed my path over the years are not perfect. But one thing I can say about the men who have been in my life, one way or another, have not been a Diddy. There's a difference. There's the Diddies of the world, and then there's the flawed men of the world. We all have flaws, 100%. But to say something like that is very dismissive for women's experience with Diddy. Of course, he was never going to do anything to Usher, which was surprising, but maybe just Diddy wasn't at that point yet where he's going to really get messy. But I also think that he wouldn't have done those things potentially or involve Usher in things at that point in his career because he probably knew he had a good thing here with Usher. He wasn't going to ruin that. And he's a man. It's a little different when it's men that you're doing this to and then women that you're doing this to.
mm-hmm,
In that extent, I'm not talking about the sexual stuff. That's a different thing. But I'm just talking about the coercive control and that kind of thing. It's a difference. I'm
mm-hmm,
sorry.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I'm a little disappointed with Usher and his thoughts.
Yeah.
You you don't have to condemn what he could the contributions he made to the Black community. You don't have to do that, but you can praise him for one thing, but condemn him for the next. And that's kind
Mhm.
of what I would want to see from Usher, and he didn't do
Mhm.
that. So,
Well I guess he kinda still believes in, in him because he
I
did it a lot
guess
for his career and,
and I 100% get that too.
Mhm.
But still, you have kids. Usher, you got kids.
Mhm.
How would you feel if your kids were the ones that were messed up with Diddy? Would you be singing the same tune? I hope not. I hope you would ride or die for your kids, no matter who the heck is doing it to them. Like, as I've said about R. Kelly, I can sit here and be like, R. Kelly is a talent. He had a skill. He was an amazing singer songwriter. He could read music like no one else's business. And I can praise him for those things.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I am not going to sit here and be like, well, he contributed so much for Black people. I don't care. Because while he was contributing to the Black community music wise, he was hurting women that look like me.
Mhm.
So, what?
I said,
So, I don't know. I'm
yeah,
a little disappointed with Usher at
yeah.
the moment.
Yeah,
Um,
sure. I'm
yeah,
pretty well. I'm pretty sure probably a lot of people are disappointed, and a lot of people would
maybe,
probably
maybe not
disagree
though. There's people
with
who
that.
ride or die for Diddy, so, you know?
Yeah, yeah, they are the same way how they did with R. Kelly and everything. So glad they
There's a
split.
whole jury of people, but the
Yeah.
difference is that they actually convicted R. Kelly for what he did.
Mhm.
They didn't really convict Diddy for the things that he was being accused of, and there was a 12-person jury who thought, "Ooh, R. Kelly," and I mean, sorry, "Ooh, Diddy," and he
Mhm.
basically got a slap on the wrist in comparison to R. Kelly. R. Kelly's never leaving prison at this
Mhm.
point. Diddy has a chance in hell, obviously. Got what,
Right.
4 and a years and a bit? Like, come on. With
Mm.
time served? Come on. It's ridiculous. Anyways, let's get off the Diddy thing because
Yeah.
I'm
No
depressed.
worries. No worries.
Um, so I know we talked about the temporary chaperone policy
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
Wonderland was doing. I think they were doing it during the Halloween haunt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it's permanent, y'all. Currently, right now, for anyone who's been to Wonderland, they've been open now, I think, for a couple of weeks. Um, the chaperone policy is permanent. Now, if you need a refresher on what the policy is, I'm going to do that for myself as well because I forget the all the logistics here. But this season, the park is implementing a chaperone policy beginning May 1st. As of 4 p.m. daily, all guests ages 15 years old or younger must be accompanied by a chaperone who is at least 21 years old in order to be admitted or to remain in the park. One chaperone may accompany no more than 10 guests aged 15 or younger per day.
Mm.
The park says it reserves the right to implement the policy earlier as operational needs require. Guests who fail to comply with this policy may be subject to removal from the park and any applicable actions permitted under the law. So that's basically that. And we had the debate about, you know, there are people who may be, unfortunately, if not unfortunately, I guess, depending on your outlook, but there could be people who are hopefully not under the age of 15. Hopefully not
Mm.
under the age not 15 and younger, but there could be, unfortunately, people who are that young who could potentially be parents or could be there with younger siblings
Mhm.
who won't be able to be there by themselves. So, and I guess also you wouldn't be allowed to wander the park on your own if you're 15 years and younger, because I think I said this then too, that when you go to the park with adults, sometimes depending on your age, you may split away from the adults and have some fun time for a couple hours or something. and meet up after the fact. But I guess if you do that after 4 p.m., you wouldn't be allowed to do that. You probably have to stay with the chaperone,
Mm,
which sucks.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't know. There's clearly a reason why they're doing this.
Mhm.
It's probably rowdy teenagers that ruin it for everybody. Um, so yeah, that's
Yeah,
basically
yeah,
that.
yeah. So basically, so like we talk about how like Gen Z likes to stream movies from home only. Like I have heard
Mhm.
like friends in the past telling me that they would rather stay home and watch Netflix and Disney Plus at home, etc. Well,
Because
that's not.
everything's handed to them now.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes. Well,
yeah.
that's kind of not true based on this article
For
from
Gen
Variety.
Zs?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm going to read this. So Gen Z has emerged as the most active movie-going demographic in 2026.
Hmm,
Define prediction that they would prefer streaming.
mhm,
Roughly 87% of Gen Zers attended a movie in theaters over the past 12 months,
mhm,
averaging about 7 visits per year.
mm. That's definitely more than I do.
Yeah.
There's there's sometimes I don't go to a movie theater in a year at all because there's nothing interesting for me to go
Mhm.
see. So, for me,
Yeah.
I would say I agree so far.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at the millennials. But yeah, I think each generation, probably
I mean,
prob
for me this year,
yeah.
so far, in the month of May, I've
Uh-huh.
gone to 2,
Yeah.
in theaters, and that's unheard of for
Uh-huh.
me because I usually will go to 2, maybe 2 in 1 year, which
Mhm.
also
Mhm.
that depends on what's coming out and whatever. But
Mhm.
I can tell you right now,
Uh-huh.
probably by the end of June, July, I probably would have probably seen 5 movies. So I think
Yeah, I'm going to be seeing like
I'm gonna be
this
seeing Spider-Man when that comes out.
yeah,
Um,
Supergirl,
and
Spider-Man,
that's not for I don't care about
Doomsday. Yeah.
Supergirl, but that like, I will be
Yeah.
seeing Spider-Man, obviously.
Yeah.
I do wanna see the new Scary Movie. So those
Yeah.
are 2 that I'm gonna be seeing, and then
Yeah.
actually for my birthday, me and my
Yeah.
mom are gonna go see Devil Wears Prada 2. So even by the end of the weekend, I would have seen 3 movies this
Mhm.
year, which is absolutely unheard of. I
Mhm.
wonder if part of the reason why maybe Gen Z versus others are going more is I'm not saying you guys don't have taste in movies or whatever, but if they're maybe just a little more open to seeing certain movies, no matter what it is. I
Mhm.
also wonder if like um the well, it's not coming to me right now. The Wizard of Oz movie that came out, not The Wizard of Oz, it's not The Wizard of Oz. What's it called?
Is that the one with the Ariana Grande?
Yeah. What's it called? Why is it not coming to me? This is horrible.
Uh, let me
Um,
just
Wicked.
use
Wicked.
Wicked. Yeah, Wicked. Yeah,
I
that's
think I think Wicked really played a role in the last 12 months of people going to the movies as well.
mhm.
Because like they have the 2 movies back to back a year apart.
Yeah.
So I think that played a part as well. Because I think a lot of a lot of people were interested in
Yeah.
going to see Wicked.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I do think that played a part.
So
But, the point I'm trying to get at is, I think it just depends on the movie and what movies are coming out
yeah,
and whether
quality.
or not it's worth it.
Yeah, quality and worth it.
You're
Cause
right.
like,
Yeah.
people don't wanna, waste
People don't
their
wanna
money.
waste their money. It's expensive to go
Yeah,
to the
it's
movies.
it's, because it's expensive to go to the movies, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, like, yeah, right now, this year, there's a lot of quality
There's a
this year.
lot.
Yeah, so,
Pretty much
yeah.
by the end of the year, I probably would see 6 or 7 movies in the theaters at the end of the year, which is the most I think I've seen in a year. Because
Mhm.
I've I'm planning, like I said, planning to see Scary Movie, planning to see Devil's Prada, planning to see Spider-Man, planning to
Uh-huh.
see Doomsday.
Uh-huh.
So those are things that I'm planning to see. Um, and that's never happened where I'm like planning to see all of these movies. Like so far, I've seen Scream 7, I saw
Mhm.
Michael, which we'll talk
Mhm.
about at the end of the month. But I saw those things, which is,
Mhm.
you know, to have this much quality,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
unheard of
Uh-huh.
in one
Uh-huh.
year. So we'll see what the changes are next year.
Mhm.
But
So yeah, millennials, 82%. So
okay,
they're the second most active group, averaging
which I
about
can believe that.
7 visits per year.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then
yeah.
Gen X is 70%,
hmm
steady demographic
I
that
think we're just
averages.
going backwards at this point because
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, we're just kind of going.
Yeah.
This because I think also too it's just we're talking about demographics in terms of
Mhm.
like also what is potentially going on in those people's lives that they
Yeah.
have the time to go see a movie
Mhm.
versus the other generations. Not
Yeah.
all Gen Zers are parents yet.
Mhm.
Um, Potentially ones that are born towards the end, or sorry, the beginning of the Gen Z, so the 96,
Mhm.
so on and so forth.
Mhm.
Maybe they are parents,
Mhm.
but we're talking millennials, Gen Xers, their parents, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
And maybe sometimes they just don't have time to go to a movie or just they'll
Yeah.
just wait till it
Yeah.
comes out on streaming or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So,
right. Uh,
that's what it
um,
sounds like to me.
mhm. Yeah, and then you have the baby boomers at 58%, the least active
Yeah.
demographic, with only 39% of those over age 65 reporting to visit in some recent studies. So the motivations for the big screen, so what their motivations are, they call us millennials escape seekers. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
do
I agree.
do you go to the theater to escape reality?
Of course.
I I I don't s like, people
No,
say that with video
you're
games.
escaping you're escaping reality in the
Uh-huh,
sense where for the next hour and a half to 2 hours, you're just focused on
mm,
the movie. It's no
uh-huh,
different than, like, reading a book or whatever, right? You're having this escapism from life, and
mhm,
it's more about numbing your brain and
mhm,
focusing on what you're focusing on.
mhm,
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, yeah, if I'm watching a movie and I wanna focus on the troubles in my life while
right,
watching a movie, I'm no longer focusing on that anymore.
mm,
So, yes, I think there is, and they say escapism, but I really don't think there's anything wrong with that. Think of it as like mindfulness. You're focused on the one thing and moving out all the other stuff
right,
that you don't wanna focus on right now.
mhm,
Like, I don't wanna sit there thinking about the woes of my life while I'm watching Michael. Like, I don't want that. I wanna escape.
yeah,
Now, I think a movie like
interesting.
Michael's a little different because
Yeah,
there's reality to that.
mhm,
And
mhm,
there's some darkness that
mhm,
obviously comes up in, the younger years.
right,
Um, but other than that, I'm sitting there watching Jafar Jackson do the Thriller dance. I don't wanna think about my woes. I wanna sit there
mhm,
and I wanna see Michael come to life. You know what I mean? So
right,
that's not
right,
escapism. It's escapism, yes, but it's just like, there's nothing wrong with that. So I do agree with that.
okay, alright, alright. Yeah, and then they're called, Gen Gen X higher bar crowd for some reason.
Higher bar meaning like they
Yeah.
have a high bar for
So
movies?
this group is the most sensitive to rising ticket costs
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
convenience of home streaming.
Yes, because they're the ones that saw, like, movies
Mhm.
costing, like, $5 a ticket
Yeah,
or less.
yeah,
Um, Whereas now, like, I went to go when I went to go see Scream, I spent $22, I think, on the one
uh-huh,
ticket.
Uh,
And then for the Michael, it was 19 and change because obviously
yep.
there was like no 3D or anything like that for that.
Uh,
But like
I can't
a
stand 3D.
general regular ticket is $19 and change. I remember
Mhm.
when I was a child, mind you, but I remember when you could go to the movies for no more than $12 a ticket. Actually, I think that's even more expensive, but like than I'm thinking, but
Mhm.
that's like my earliest memory. It probably was even less than that. And like imagine now it's it's ridiculous. Gosh, you can't even go to like a play or a musical for cheap no more. You go like I talked about this before. When Hamilton first came out here before COVID hit,
Mhm.
those freaking tickets were $300 and up.
Mm.
When I told my mom that, she's like, "What in the she's like, what happened to the good old days when it was like $100 per ticket?" And that's exactly it. Like everything is so much more expensive these days that yeah, I'm also out here. I'm not a Gen Xer, but I'm still out here being like, God damn, I can't afford this. That's a literally budget to go to a movie. This is ridiculous.
Yes.
Anyways,
Yeah, yeah. It, it it's I would think I'm around that I'm around that generation
the Gen, right? The
in terms of like
Gen
to the
X.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
because
yeah, because you're born in '88. You're kind of just at the cusp
yeah, because
of a Gen X.
mm,
Kind
am
of,
I?
kind
Am
of. Let's see. Didn't it end in '86?
All right, yeah,
Yeah,
so
you're 2 years out from
yeah,
that.
so 2 years. Huh? Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh, didn't know that.
and right in the center of millennial. So
Okay.
it's the same thing with my. I see like the differences
I see.
between like me and my thought process and my boyfriend because he's the same age as you.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, like it's like you have more of that like older mentality, but
Oh,
like
okay. Yeah.
yeah, you're right at
Yeah.
the cusp.
Yeah.
Like
Um.
I'm in the middle
Yeah. Yeah.
of
True. True.
millennial.
True. Yeah.
So
Um. Yeah. And then the resilient generation is the baby boomers. I just recently saw that. So that's basically it for that article
okay.
from Variety. And yeah. Um. Yeah, it's definitely not true that Gen X doesn't go to movie and nobody goes to
No,
movies.
no, they definitely do go
Gen
to a
Z, sorry,
movie,
rather.
but as my mom, who's a Gen
Yeah.
Xer, she's, you know,
Yeah.
uh, probably also a little more closer to baby boomer, but,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
um, as a Gen Xer, she a movie has to be worth it for her to
Uh-huh.
go to the theater to
Yeah.
watch the movie.
Yep.
That's more her motivation. Yeah, pricing is one thing, but that's more her motivation is if the movie's not worth it, I'm not
Uh.
going. So for like for the stuff like for me, I'm like, I'm definitely gonna go see Michael in theaters. My mom didn't care as much. She's like, whatever. Now she's regretting it. Didn't say I told you so. But
Mm.
anyways. But like Devil Wears Prada, like yes, my mom will go and see that. But here's the thing. We didn't see Devil Wears Prada in theater the first time because we weren't sure if it was gonna be worth it. My mom's thought process is, I don't know if this is gonna be worth it. Obviously, now seeing the first movie and obviously how popular that was, how good the movie was, yeah, my mom will be like, "Yeah, let's go see that in theaters." So I think that's as for my mother, as a Gen Xer, that's more of her motivation is like,
Mhm.
it needs to be worth it because
Yeah,
and I
I
agree
agree.
with her,
Yeah.
in today's world,
Mhm.
movies aren't always the greatest. This year is the exception, I think.
Yeah.
I really do think so. But anyways,
Yeah. Okay. Alright.
let's move on to the next
Mhm.
to another some not really dark topic, but when we talk about Trump, it's just dark altogether. Did you hear about him and the Pope getting like
It
in fisticuffs? Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh
That
my god. I don't know
yeah.
much about this, because I tend to try and steer clear from everything Trump at this point,
Mhm.
for my own mental health. But
Mhm.
when I saw that he's having fisticuffs with the Pope, I'm
Yeah.
like, "What is
Yeah.
going on?" Now we're coming for the highest religious leader in the
Mhm.
world, one of the highest
Mhm.
religious leaders in the world. Like,
Mhm.
what is going on? What is happening? Um, so if you don't know, like I don't know what is going on, here's what's going on. So Trump set off the furor by calling Pope Leo, quote unquote, terrible, just terrible. In a long tirade, he subsequently posted an AI image depicting himself as, oh God, a Jesus like figure, sparking further outrage among Christians who saw the image as blasphemous. Agreed. Pope Leo of the world's 1.4 billion Catholics, swiftly responded, telling reporters he had no fear of the Trump administration and promising to continue speaking out against the US led war with Iran in defense of migrants. Yeah. So, um,
Mhm.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically that. I mean, listen,
Uh,
we already know that he thinks he's a Christ-like figure. He just put it to pen to paper at this point. I just nothing shocks me anymore. What does shock me is, um, sorry for what I'm actually not sorry for what I'm about to say, but
uh,
if this triggers you, I'm sorry. What is more troubling is the fact that people keep attempting to assassinate him and they miss terribly. What is going on? Like, we need people with better aim. I said it. I don't care. I said it. I don't care. Why can't we just get rid of him?
mhm.
Okay. I don't want anyone else getting hurt. I actually I actually did feel bad for Charlie Kirk's wife because she was there when the shooting
Mhm.
happened. I did feel bad for her, despite all the with her husband.
Mhm.
I felt bad for her in that moment because, like, that's horrible, and she clearly like,
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
she there when he was murdered?
No,
No? Okay.
she was not, no.
Okay. Okay,
Not
but she
present.
still has, like, a level, obviously, of PTSD. Her husband was shot. Um,
Yes. People are very well, I've been watching a lot of people who are very critical of her, s how she been reacting, but,
why are we
I've been
critical? Yeah, I seen that. I seen people reacting
yeah,
that way too.
and a
But I
lot
don't
of
think that's crazy.
YouTubers, a
Her
lot of
husband was shot
yeah, yeah, a lot of
and killed.
influence yeah, because, like, uh, uh the day after, he got shot, like, the next couple weeks, she's on the, his, like, TP USA, podium, the fireworks, etcetera, all that stuff. They don't
Ah,
know if
I
she's,
see.
like, yeah.
Yeah, but
They don't
she's
know
not
is that
like a war veteran who might get, triggered by fireworks because it sounds like a gunshot. That's not the same thing here. But this is
uh-huh,
a person who came to a dinner with a gun, actually a gun, and started shooting
uh-huh.
at whomever he's shooting at.
Yeah,
And
yeah, her yeah,
it's
yeah,
that's a little different than
uh-huh.
fireworks and her not being set off by that. She wasn't there when it happened, as you just said, she wasn't there. It
Yeah,
would
yeah,
be different if she was there and then
yeah,
fireworks started setting her off and then this gun
yeah,
setting
yeah.
her off.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Then
yeah,
I
and
have
anybody can tr
questions.
this would trigger anybody. The thing
Yeah,
yeah, it's just like people yeah, I don't know, cause everybody reacts different when it comes to, like,
of course. Of course, yeah.
sad situations, like,
She
seeing the
lost her
yeah,
husband and
yeah,
her
lost her husband,
father of her
like, y
kids, like,
she's looking for some positive light to
huh.
be,
And I don't fault
be
her in
out
that
there.
despite her
Yeah,
husband's views, but
yeah,
I don't have any issue with that, like,
yeah, nah, I
she
don't
has to do
I
what she
just
has to do to keep
yeah,
herself going, and if this is
yeah,
what she has to do to keep herself
yeah,
going,
yeah,
100% behind it.
yeah, I disagree with her husband's views
Oh,
100%,
100%
no,
disagree with her
yeah, a
husband's
lot of
views,
it, yeah,
but he didn't
and
deserve to die.
yeah, no,
No, not
yeah,
at all.
yeah,
Um, I feel differently about Trump. He's led a good life, y'all.
yeah,
It's time.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
give a shit about Trump
yeah,
because he doesn't
yeah,
give a shit about anybody else, so whatever.
But yeah,
Anyways,
yeah, like I said, like I disagree with everybody what they're
me
saying
too.
about her. So like it's like I said, everybody agrees different, and you
Hmm.
know they um like to uh
People
do things. Yeah,
people are keyboard warriors and they'll say what they want to say
yeah,
behind
yeah,
a screen,
yeah,
but they would never say that in front of anybody's
yeah,
face.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, let's talk about someone.
Let's talk
Let's
about
talk
somebody
about two
else.
people who are more in a positive direction.
Sounds good to me.
Mark Carney and Barack Obama met together. I never thought that would ever happen, but it did.
We talked about this already.
I think Barack Obama, I think Barack Obama was on a tour because he did meet
Hmm.
with, Madani at
Hmm.
the New York mayor.
Hmm.
Uh, I actually like the New York mayor, Madani. I've been like, you know, he's been on my timeline, etcetera. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's taxing the rich. You know, like, and et cetera, and, you know, a lot of rich people, I hate Madani as well, like, but if you saw the video with him and Madani, though, it was the cutest thing. He was, both of them were, in a in a school with, like, children reading a lottery book, and the children were just sitting down on the ground saying that, "Oh, I know who you are," and then Obama was like, "Do you know who he is? You know, who he is?" And then the kids are like, "Mayor Madani," you know, like,
That's
so
cute.
it was kinda cute and funny seeing the kids and then, you know, those 2 reading a book and et cetera. Then I think, like, a few months later, I like I said, Barack Obama is on tour, like, probably visiting a lot of people, et cetera. Probably bringing some positive light towards America, et cetera.
Yeah,
But
they need it.
him and, Mark Carney met, I saw that clip, I was like, "I never thought it would ever happen," right?
Well, as we talked
Uh,
about in the, I
yeah,
think it was in the, actually, I think it was in Monday's episode.
uh-huh,
We as we kind of said there, it's kind of interesting that I can maybe understand Obama meeting a current sitting New York mayor.
yeah,
But what I still understand is what's he doing in Canada as a former president. But
yeah,
I
I
don't
know,
have any
because people saying that
complaints.
has to do with the act, I can't remember what it
Maybe.
was.
I listen, I say this not because I have a complaint in my bones. No, I
Uh-huh,
don't. Obama is always welcome. Always welcome. We love you here.
yeah,
So, yeah.
He did went to UK as well, so he went to the
Yeah.
UK.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did,
he met
so
with the
he's
king
on
after the king had to unfortunately be with Trump. So, yeah.
he's on tour, so I think he does this, like, every single I don't know if he does this every 2 years or
I
every
don't
ye I
know, but
can't remember. Go ahead.
sorry, I go back to Trump though, but this is funny, this made me cackle.
Yeah,
Um, so obviously we know that I say Prince, sorry, King Charles and Queen Kamala, um, said, yeah, and King Charles made a joke to
uh-huh.
Trump and basically, I think in terms of talking about the World Cup, and was saying that he is the leader of two, I think he said two of the countries that are participating in the World Cup, England and Canada. Technically, he's like, I'm the leader of Canada. You're not the leader of Canada. And I thought that was freaking hilarious. I'm like, yeah, you tell him, King Charles. You tell him. He's not the leader of Canada. It's
Mhm.
great. I thought it was amazing. Now I'm paraphrasing because I don't have that article up anymore, but it I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, that's perfect. Because it's true, technically. Technically. If this one you might disagree with me, Canadians, but
Mhm.
yeah. We didn't really leave the monarchy. Not really. Anyways.
Yeah, 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 no, I have nothing, what's his the Orange Man, so, yeah,
No, no. I just
uh,
if I have
yeah,
to choose which of these evils I wanna be led by, I will pick King Charles every day. All day, every day.
uh, yeah,
King
uh,
Charles is harmless in my mind.
Is he the brother
in
of the
comparison.
Prince Andrew or whatever? Is it Prince
Yes,
Andrew? Oh,
yes, yeah, Prince.
is that Prince
Well, he's
Andrew?
not a prince. It's Andrew, just Andrew.
Just Andrew?
Yeah, he's not a
Yeah.
prince anymore.
Okay, yeah, and yeah, yeah.
He got stripped of his
Okay,
title, but
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
yes, he is. But again, if you watch The Crown, which I think you did, you can see that Charles and Andrew are completely two different people, and were treated very differently too. And
Mhm,
let's be real, if Queen Elizabeth was still alive and all of this nonsense happened with Andrew,
mhm,
he never would have been stripped of his title.
mm,
Charles, on the other hand, did that. He wasn't playing. He's like, go ahead and charge my brother. I don't care.
yeah.
Anyways,
Yep. Yep. All
so
right.
moving on. So have you heard, I don't know if you heard, this is fairly recent, that Loblaw, Sobeys, I think both of those, are overcharging for underweight meat. Again, I didn't know Sobeys was charging for
It's not.
underweight meat before,
Yeah.
but Loblaws is after they were in deep doo-doo before. So they're doing some nonsense again,
Mhm,
which is a little bit annoying. Um, but here's what the article here has to say. So a CBC News secret shopping investigation has uncovered, once again, several Loblaw-owned and Sobeys affiliated stores overcharging for underweight meat, despite claims last year, the grocery giants had
mhm,
taken steps to rectify the problem.
mhm.
So clearly, they aren't actually
Did
doing
you
that.
do you know probably why I feel like I have read like, saw a CBC documentary based on how groceries profit and etc. based on property laws. So
Mhm.
do you know that do you know if if Dollarama has something for a discount, they can't if a Loblaws is nearby, they can't, really discount the same item as a Dollarama. It's in the property
So wait,
contract.
so who can't discount?
So like basically, okay, so I'm confusing
You're
you
saying
guys.
Loblaws
So
can't discount, but
so
Dollarama's
basically,
can't?
Dollarama cannot discount anything
Okay.
unless a lot less uh they're around the Loblaws. So if Loblaws has it at regular price,
Yeah.
Dollarama cannot discount it. It's on. They have a property ruling of that. Like it's on in the
So how
contract.
nearby does a Dollarama have to be to a Loblaws for them to not be able to discount? Out of
I'm guessing
curiosity.
probably on the other side, but like probably like way far. I don't know what
Like, is
the
there a
parameters, but
kilometer?
yeah, I think it's like if it's if it's in the same,
Like,
they can't
same
plaza, they
plaza?
can't,
Okay.
yeah, they can't discount it. Dollarama cannot discount
Well,
it.
then that would
Yeah,
explain why there's
yeah.
like, so in Ajax, I'm trying to
Mhm,
think off the top of my head here, but I believe there are 4
mhm,
different Dollaramas.
mhm,
Nowhere like I'm assuming obviously Loblaw will include Real Canadian Superstore.
mhm.
Curious though if that would also apply to a Shoppers Drug Mart or a No Frills, because I'm assuming they're all affiliated
Yeah, yeah,
with Loblaw.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but
And then that goes to anything that in any grocery store. Like if you have
yeah,
something like, you know,
yeah,
discount,
well,
you can't. It's in the
so
contract.
any
Yeah,
grocery store, not just Loblaw.
yeah. That's what I looked into at the, yeah, yeah.
See, that
And
seems
some,
more impossible because, like, again, I'm curious to actually know, like, what those parameters are because so, like, if I think about one Dollarama right now, it's not necessarily in because you know, how, like, the Walmart and Ajax has different, like, buildings within this block radius,
uh-huh,
right? Um, the Dollarama is off on one side, closer to Kingston, away from the Walmart. So I'm curious if that pertains to the non-discount, if there's a Walmart right there. Mind you, I've been in that Dollarama.
uh-huh.
they always seem cheaper than the Walmart. But the other Dollarama that I'm thinking about that's near a grocery store, it's an Asian grocery store, but a grocery store nonetheless. There's a Dollarama there.
Yeah.
And then the other two, there's one just across the street from me. There's a Longo's there. And then the other one isn't near a grocery store. However, they are in the same plaza as a Shoppers.
Mm,
So that seems interesting to me because I'm just
yeah.
like, but I feel like I walk into a dollar store and it feels like it's discounted in comparison to those other stores,
Right.
despite the fact that they're right there. Oh, and not even just that, there's a Sobeys. I was wrong. There's a Sobeys right there as well. So there's a
Yeah. Yeah.
Shoppers
This is
on
so
one
recent.
end and
Yeah.
then the
Yeah.
Sobeys on the other
So,
end.
yeah.
So it's smack
So
dab in the middle.
yeah. So yeah. So they can't
Hmm.
like. Yeah. I don't know. Like it's they have that like it's in I Manitoba and basically they're looking to ban like grocery store like competition. So it's
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. I saw a documentary based on that. So I'm wondering that's because of the
Interesting.
meat and the meat thing and that you're talking about.
You're right, but then a dollar store doesn't sell meat anyways,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
I mean, and towards like other stores as well. Like
Go ahead. We got him back.
yeah,
It
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
happen.
yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I know that dollar store doesn't do meat. I wonder if that applies to all other grocery stores as well. But
I don't know.
it's
I mean, you're always gonna deal with competition from other grocery
yeah.
stores, right?
uh,
We've talked about the I feel very much a one-sided competition between Target and Walmart. We've talked about that from our experience, but
mhm.
there's always gonna be competition. I just find it interesting that there's literally like a thing in the contract that they
Yeah,
can't do something. But then again, there's always been that rumor that things that Dollar Store or Dollarama, sells are things that came
yeah,
from those
yeah,
big box stores.
yeah,
So who knows? Who knows?
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but yes, over the past 2 months, CBC visited 17 Loblaw-owned or Sobeys affiliated stores in Toronto, Vancouver, and Halifax areas, targeting packaged fresh meat sold by weight. Using a kitchen scale, CBC first secretly weighed meats in stores in their full packaging. When a product's scale weight matched or fell below the net weight declared on its label, that indicated the meat was underweight, likely because it was weighed and not priced with the packaging included. So if we're following, it appears that with the packaging, it's hitting the target, but that would mean that the meat
huh,
is being sold, but it's underweight. So it should be, I guess they're trying to say it should be weighed the meat only
uh-huh,
and then packaged. I'm not sure. But anyways, under
hmm,
federal regulations, the posted net weights for food and prices based on that weight there we go, must exclude the weight of the packaging.
hmm,
In all, CBC purchased and documented 32 underweight meat products from 7 stores, 2 Safeways, and a Thrifty Foods in North Vancouver, owned by Sobeys, 2 Farm Boys in the Greater Toronto Area, owned by Sobeys' parent company Empire, and 2 Real Atlantic superstores in the Halifax area, which their owner, Loblaw, now calls Real Canadian Superstores, as we know. Calculated over charges range from 2 to 16.7%. Organic air chilled chicken sold at Farm Boy ran up the highest added cost, which is an extra $1.35, so 16.7% on a pack of 2 breasts sold for $9.42, and an added $1.37 or 12.5% on a pack of 5 thighs sold for $12.32.
uh,
The findings come at a time of growing frustration over the high cost of food. Grocery
uh-huh.
prices have climbed 30% since 2021. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's kind of the gist of it. What's frustrating too, like, with just kinda talking about the rise of groceries or just rise of everything these days,
Mhm.
is, like, no offense to CRA, but take all the offense, when they come out and be like, "We have this new grocery benefit," but it's just the GST that they've renamed,
Oh, yeah.
and
Mark Carney, yeah,
yeah, and
announced that,
there's no benefit to all Canadians. It's only benefiting those people who could or uh, already qualified for GST to begin with. So, for example, I can't
uh-huh.
qualify for it. My
Mhm,
mother can't qualify for it. My
mhm,
boyfriend can't qualify for it. So people obviously who are making above a certain threshold cannot get that. So it's a little
mhm,
frustrating where it's like, I thought it was supposed to be like an added benefit to everything else, and it's not. So
hmm,
that's a
huh.
little frustrating. And again, if that's a Carney thing, meh,
It's
I don't
a
like that.
uh,
No
I
offense.
mean, well, it's been GST's been around for quite a long time, so, like,
Oh, of
basically,
course. GST's been around
it's
since
just
we've talked
been
about it since I think Mulroney
yeah.
is the one that
Yeah,
started it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he just wanted to help. He knew that this was coming. He knew that, like, the groceries were getting more
Oh,
expensive due
okay,
to,
but hold on.
yeah.
I feel like you're sugarcoating it the way that the government's sugarcoating it.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
They're making it seem like this is an added benefit. They're not initially anyways, we're explicitly saying that this is replacing GST. It's not what they were initially saying. They're making it seem like this was an added thing.
Oh,
Eventually,
so
because
you're saying
people were
oh,
probably complaining about the fact that, "Oh, what's happening here?" That's when they started saying in the commercials that this is replacing GST. But it's
did they
why
say
do you need
the
to
first?
replace one thing for another? Why can't you give people the GST who qualify for the GST and then also give people the grocery benefit who also then,
Uh,
can get that as well?
did he say it
So
was replacing
it
the
is replacing the GST.
hmm. Yeah, I did see that in my CRA account that it didn't say GST anymore. It said grocery,
Yes,
etcetera, all
because it
that
is
stuff.
replacing
Yeah,
GST is no longer a
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Okay.
It is now being called this
The
grocery benefit or whatever it's
benefit. Yeah,
the right
yeah, yeah. Grocery
terminology is.
benefit. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say is
I know Justin Trudeau did something like that as well. He did that in his term, like, I think it was around his last term, he did it, and then
he
it
did
went
a
back to
grocery
GST.
rebate
Rebate, yeah,
where
that's what it
people
was
but it
for
wasn't replacing
one
anything.
time. Yeah, it was a one-time
Yes,
thing.
and that's okay.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that. I have issue and I'm sorry, like, listen, I think Mark Carney's done a great job, but
mhm,
I think this was a poor choice. I don't agree with taking away not even taking away, saying making Canadians think you're adding something,
mhm,
but really you're not.
mhm,
You're putting makeup on something and making it seem like you're giving us something good, but you're not. You're literally just giving us what we've already been getting as Canadians since whenever Ben Mulroney brought this in. Or Brian, sorry, Brian
mhm.
Mulroney brought this in. Like, come
I
on.
don't know. I mean, I didn't get that because, like, I saw the full conference that day that he was announcing in the grocery store, like, probably the ads
But
that were
that's again,
going
that's just adding to
the ads
there's
that were yeah,
it's adding to that misinformation that they are purposely putting out there.
yeah, the ads are misleading, I would say.
But
The
who started that? It's a Canadian government ad.
Yeah, yeah, so that's probably the problem, I would say.
Yeah, but again,
That
where
yeah,
does that come from? It comes from the top.
yeah,
I bet,
so
so I listen, like I've said straight off the bat, I think Mark Carney has done
yeah,
great
no, no.
things,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
not everything is going to be perfect,
yeah.
right? This
Yeah,
is one
yeah,
of those
obviously.
things.
Yeah, obviously it was, the ads were misleading. But I didn't like, I didn't I obviously knew that it was probably he's probably was gonna like, add on top of the,
This is not adding on top
the
of.
GST.
This is not adding on top of.
The regular GST, yeah, it is. Not it, I didn't think it was gonna replace anything, cause like,
Right,
it
but
was
it's replacing it.
yes, but
Yeah.
yeah, but I didn't know that it was replacing until I saw my CRA the other day. I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
your nose assessment. Yeah.
oh." I was like, "Huh,
Yeah.
interesting." I didn't know that. So, like, yeah. So, yeah, it was adding on top of the regular GST, but I just didn't know it was gonna fully replacing the GST.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah. So,
replacing.
yeah, yeah. So, like, I didn't know that. That's the thing I
Yeah.
didn't know.
So again,
So,
so like when Canadians are thinking that they're getting all Canadians are potentially getting something, because
uh-huh.
again, like with the income I make, I obviously don't get like the trillion benefit or
Right,
the GST or anything like
I get
that.
the work. Do you not get the
I don't know what that is now.
workers benefit? Oh, I got that
I
like
make
last
too.
year.
I not to put my business out there, but I make too much money. I don't get those benefits.
Yeah, yeah, You d
I'm way past the
you're middle,
threshold.
I'm more like the way how I make money towards actually at work, it's probably in
Yeah,
the lower class, but,
yeah,
I make money different in different ways, and I
yeah.
don't
But you
it's
don't.
yeah, yeah,
That's different. I'm talking
yeah,
about the 9 to 5 type
yeah,
job or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, like that. I've been way past the threshold for
uh-huh,
years.
yeah,
So I don't.
yeah, yeah,
I would get the lump sum trillion benefit like
mhm,
before,
mhm.
but since I reached like around the bracket that I'm currently in, let's just say
You're
like the from
you're in
1
the
to
yeah, yeah,
I'm high up there.
you're not middle class, are you? You're middle class or higher middle
What would be
class.
considered middle class? I don't wanna give away my
Oh,
salary, but
jeez. Uh,
what would be
let me
considered middle class?
uh, let me see, because hold on, let me just sorry, y'all. I apologize.
Okay,
Let me
I just found
okay, so
something.
I just searched, like, under so if you're low income and no, working poor, you're under $35,000, which, yeah, that's where kinda where I'm
Mhm.
at, and I'm probably, like, 34, but, it is what it is. Uh, then the lower middle class is 35,000 to 65,000.
Lower middle class
Yes,
is 65,000?
yes,
That's the max?
yes, for lower middle class.
I'm up
Middle
oh,
class is 65,000, at 65,000.
okay.
So,
At 65,000, there's no
60
range?
65,000 to 120,000.
Okay. That's me then.
Okay, so you're in the middle class, so that's
Yeah,
why.
yeah.
Usually they said the lower taxes for middle class. Mm,
I don't know. I just know that they take a lot of my money.
let me see, hold
So,
on. Yeah. Yeah, they did. Yeah, 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 they probably lowered the income tax for you guys. Um, the percentage of how much more money did they take, they probably lowered it or lowered it. Yeah, they lowered it for you guys. Um,
I mean,
I'm
let's
trying
just put
to
it this way, like, if it wasn't for the fact that I had fertility, um, expenses this year, I would have been owing the government.
mhm.
So, yeah,
Yeah, I think the benefits are pertaining to people who are in, like, the
yeah,
lower,
and I'm not there, so I
yeah,
don't get
lower income
those.
thing. Yeah,
Um, so yeah.
okay.
But not to say that
Uh,
just because I'm quote unquote middle class doesn't mean that I don't struggle. I do. But
mm,
yeah, yeah. Anyway.
yeah, so let me see the examples. Then shield that away because many government benefits are income tested as household income rises. Benefits often phase out gradually. Examples including Canadian child benefits, GST credits, dental, housing support, provincial assistance, family, earning, and you said if you're feeling financial squeezed, da, da, da. That's how people are talking about missing the middle class. Yeah, yeah, uh, yeah. I don't know. Maybe the government feels that the middle class, you know, make
Yeah.
a lot of money, make too much, make too much
I
money to a
mean,
certain point that they can.
'cause I think you said the threshold or the range for middle was at the max was at 120.
Mhm.
Well, I'm not into the 6 digits. That would be nice. I don't know if I'll ever be in the 6 digits.
Six
Maybe
digits.
maybe in the next
Oh yeah, that's 100. Yeah.
5 years, maybe I'd be in
Mhm.
the 6 digits.
Yeah.
But it, I'm still in, like 'cause I think you said it was 65 was the
65 to 120. That's the middle
yeah,
class
so
range.
I'm
Yeah.
still about I mean, I will say, like, I'm obviously not saying how much I make, but I am definitely closer to the 65 than the 120.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like every except for the higher class, which the higher class don't need their benefits
No,
like
we're not
that.
talking to you.
Upper middle 100 to 200,000. You guys have a
Y
lot of resources,
yeah,
so
no, we're
it
not we're
don't.
not we're not referring to you
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the middle class, lower middle, and the lower income deserve those benefits, but
Yeah.
I guessing the government's only pertaining to the lower middle class and the lower income
I mean,
working.
I think it's
Yeah,
tough though, because I think, like, once you kinda hit, like, those 6 digits or
yeah, yeah.
even, like, close to where I'm at as well, like, um, I think, like, once you hit even, like, 80, 90,000, it's
Uh-huh.
really tough to have those people be like, "Hey, let's give them benefits that go to other people," right, that actually need it. So,
Mhm, mhm.
I think it's tough,
Yeah, it's
but
tough. Yeah, it's tough.
yeah,
But
anyway.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I kind of agree, but at the same time, I'm in the middle with that. So
Yeah, no, me
yeah,
too. Because 'cause I'm
it's a
like, I
gray
need the
area.
benefits.
Which I understand the government's theory, but like, yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm
yeah,
definitely of, like I'm in the middle class
yeah,
apparently, and I'm like, "I need help."
yeah,
But,
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
at the same time, I get why that my with the
Mhm.
money that I make, that I just wouldn't get those benefits. I get it.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
I've been used to it now at this point. Like I said, I
yeah,
haven't been getting the benefits for, I don't know, 67 years.
yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm coming in to do a few articles, just me. So this one is about so here's the highlight headline. 2 years after booze came to cornerstones, the LCBO is down $780 million. So Premier Doug Ford's tinkering with Ontario's booze market has cost the LCBO big. Figures in the newly released 2026 Ontario budget show that the liquor retailer's profits dropped by $780 million in 2 years after Ford allowed beer and wine to be sold in Cornerstones in 2024. Corner stores. The LCBO brought in $1.79 million in 2025 to 2026, a significant drop from the $2.57 billion it made in 2023 to 2024.
Ford's subsequent decision to strip U.S. alcohol off the shelves didn't help either. The CBC reports it cost the LCBO $75 million since markups were higher on those foreign products than their Canadian replacements. Since the province owns the LCBO, that means a loss of income to the public purse, and a significant one too, given the Ford government is projecting a $13.8 billion deficit. The province is also cutting $60 million in alcohol taxes, including for beer and wine brewed by local producers and sold at in-house bottle stores. That will come at a cost. The province now expects its revenue from alcohol taxes to decline by nearly half next year. Not all the booze stores' woes are down to the government itself. People are also just drinking less, and that's costing the LCBO some $80 million in lost sales, according to the CBC. The LCBO is also getting a new role as the exclusive wholesaler for all the retailers, bars, and restaurants selling alcohol in Ontario, a move the government announced in 2024 and will go into effect on April 1st of this year, so it's already in effect, which is great. The new plan would allow the LCBO to maintain its pride of place, even as beer and wine are sold elsewhere, but it also comes with a cut. The province is knocking down its wholesale markups by $200 million. That will mean cheaper beers for bars and convenience stores, but whether those retailers will pass those savings onto their customers remains to be seen. So we'll have to see how that goes. None of this amounts to death for LCBO. The government expects its profits will bounce back by a modest $100 million next year and will carry on as the public retailer that we all know and, sort of love. But that is that one. Just a quick one here. The Mummy's John Hannah returning as Rachel Reese's brother. If you know, he's Jonathan in The Mummy. I think we did talk about this very briefly, but I honestly cannot remember. So we'll just kind of talk about it a little bit. So, John Hannah, who appeared in the previous Mummy movies made at the turn of the century, is reuniting with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Reeves for the latest installment of the horror adventure franchise. Matt Bittolini-Olpin and Tyler Gillett of film collective Radio Silence, who together revitalized the Scream franchise with 2022 Scream and 2023 Scream 6. So that's to be clear, that's 5 and 6 are behind the Ready or Not films, which I actually do want to see, and helming the feature, which has a script by David Kolkoschow, and he wrote The Family Plan and Orphan First Kill. Plot details are being kept in the sarcophagus, if you say, at this stage. The original movie, released in 1999, starred Fraser as treasure hunter who travels to Egypt in the 1920s with a spunky librarian played by Reeves, only to be accidentally awaken a supernaturally powerful high priest. Hannah played the less than trustworthy brother because, well, he stole of the librarian, a thief who, over the course of the original movies made, is always on the make, gaining and losing spoils, and ends each adventure with a little something in his pocket, even as ancient cities and treasures crumble around him, literally, and his friends. Hannah appeared in all three of the movies along with Fraser. Reese's stuck around only for the first two, if you know. Universal will release the next feature on May 19th, 2028. According to sources, the project is set to begin shooting in the fall in London and in Morocco. So that's basically that update. I'll end it there. So we'll see what's next that we'll talk about. So Durham Council approves supportive housing in downtown Ajax. And I think this is currently being built as we speak. So as long as the federal government kicks in the majority of the funding, Ajax residents will see a supportive housing development in the downtown. At the March 23rd meeting, Ajax Council unanimously approved the Region of Durham's plans for three-story building at Achilles Road and Harwood Avenue South, literally well, actually, I don't think they've actually broke ground yet, but if you know, if you live in the area. So yeah, South Councillor Lisa Bauer was not in attendance. The meeting was not available through a live feed, nor was it recorded after the weather-related damage shut down council chambers temporarily, and the meeting was moved to a different location. Mayor Sean Collier advanced the plans by using his strong mayor powers in an effort to accelerate the process. He declined to be interviewed for this article. The work is being led by the region of Durham. The plan is for the region to provide project oversight and for Housing Durham to partner with a program operator to provide on-site support staffing and programs 24/7. Durham Regional Council also approved the plans at its meeting on March 25th without debate. At the HX Council meeting, residents spoke about the plans, sharing concerns as well as support for the plans. Council also voted to give $500,000 to the region for the town's portion of the Housing Accelerator Fund in an effort to demonstrate the town's commitment to the project to help offset related capital costs and accelerate the delivery of the project. The project is expected to cost $28 million. Great. And construction is planned for 2026 and 2027. The fruition of the project will depend on whether the region is successful in its application for federal funding through the Build Canada Homes Fund, which is expected to cover the majority of the project. This fund is used for projects that are ready to proceed and publicly led. The location of the building is in the same spot where an encampment of unhoused people was located in October, as Ajax is seeing its highest homelessness numbers yet. But Collier stressed this is not a homeless shelter or transitional housing. It's meant to be long-term permanent housing with wraparound services for residents such as healthcare, life skills training, counseling, and case management. This actually sounds amazing. The town hopes to get shovels in the ground as soon as feasible. And that is that one. So Canada has new laws and measures taking effect in May. So a couple of new laws are rolling out across Canada, introducing changes that people should be aware of in the coming weeks. Some of the new laws that will be implemented across Canada this will affect your taxes as well as banking services. As tax season ends on April 30th, Canadians should be aware of any money they owe to Canada Revenue Agency to avoid having to pay the latest daily compound interest. Speaking of money, a new law will affect banks' liquidity to ensure financial institutions are better prepared for uncertainty. When it comes to immigration, the Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, IRCC, is asking Canadians for their opinions as it looks to review its express entry program. CRA updates daily interest rate. Canadians who owe money to the CRA will have to pay their remaining balance no later than April 30th. If the amount you owe is $2 or less, so don't worry, no payment is required, as the agency doesn't collect balances under that threshold. However, if the amount you owe is significantly higher than that, make sure to pay before the deadline. As of May 1st, the CRA will start charging a 7% interest rate on overdue taxes, Canada pension plan contributions, employment insurance employment insurance premiums. The rate is unchanged from the previous quarter, but slightly lower than the same period last year when the CRA charged 8%. Canadians who have an outstanding balance will be charged a daily compound interest on the amount owed from the due date until the balance is paid in full. You can make a payment electronically by check or debit using a remittance voucher or by cash at a Canada Post outlet for a fee. If you have a remittance voucher with a QR code or self-generated QR code. If you can't pay your balance by April 30th, visit the CRA debt collection site to manage your payments or visit the tax collection policy site for more information. Changes to banking rules. Canada's banking rules are getting an update. Guidelines for the liquidity adequacy requirements set out by the Office of the Superintendent of Financial Institutions take effect on May 1st. The new rule applies to federally regulated banks, bank holding companies, and trust and loan companies to make sure these institutions always have enough cash to handle withdrawals and meet payment and settlement obligations, even during the periods of stress. Good to know. The guidelines ensure financial institutions avoid liquidity problems that could result in bigger issues. Review of candidates' express entry. Although this isn't a new law that's going into effect, it is a chance to participate in possible reforms. IRCC is asking Canadians for their input as it looks to update the Express Entry program and its scoring system, the Comprehensive Ranking System, CRS. Anyone can share their thoughts through a survey, even if you've never used the system before. Express Entry is the online system that the IRCC uses to manage permanent residence applications from skilled workers. The CRS is the system that ranks candidates, scoring them based on age, education, language skills, work experience, and other factors. Proposed changes include simplifying the program requirements, updating the CRS based on the latest data, and introducing new points for candidates with Canadian work experience or a job offer in a high-wage occupation. You can take part by participating in the survey, and you don't need prior experience or knowledge of Express Entry. The deadline to submit your response is May 24th. And that is it for me. We'll be jumping back in with me and Mikel.
So,
Uh-huh.
anyways,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, y'all. We're still in the place of Trump right now, but again, this is a little different. But he's at it again with Jimmy Kimmel. He's trying to get Jimmy Kimmel fired again
Mm.
because Jimmy Kimmel made a joke about Melania Trump becoming an expectant widow after the White House Correspondents' Dinner, as we just talked about a second ago. Here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to say. Trump, you're not listening. And if you are, turn us off, because off, but you're not listening. Secondly, stop. People are allowed to have jokes. People are allowed to have freedom of speech. It's in your constitution. Look it up. So, how about we just leave Jimmy Kimmel alone? How about it? Because the last time you tried this, it didn't work. And Jimmy Kimmel came back with a vengeance. So, how about we just leave it alone? Okay. Okay. Let's move on.
Uh,
I'm always going to
well,
support Jimmy Kimmel.
let's talk about the positive here as well. Justin
What's the
Trudeau and
positive?
Katy Perry,
Oh,
Katy Perry was talking about Justin Trudeau, how she's we don't talk about relationships and etc. all
no.
that stuff
And
and
I
on the
really
podcast.
don't care about this one.
Yeah, I don't care, but this man deserves happiness, everybody. And like for years of hate coming hit this man's way, Justin Trudeau, you know. I under I don't understand the hate, but when it comes to
It's
politicians and
not about
things, but
him. I really truly think it's not about him.
yeah,
It's
and
about Katy Perry. I think actually people hate Katy Perry more than they hate Justin Trudeau.
well,
I 100%
Canadians and
think that.
Americans?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, 100%. Do we
I
not
mean,
remember
I
the
mean,
Blue
the
Origin
liberal support is
situation?
there for Justin Trudeau, but like the
No, but here
conservatives and the NDP.
here's the thing. I think you need to read up on the Katy Perry hate. There's a Blue Origin situation. She got a lot of hate for that.
Mm.
And there's been a lot of talk about her being inappropriate with men and like in her especially in her role in Idol.
I heard something about that,
Yeah, I've seen
but
her be
there
kind of
hasn't.
inappropriate while watching the show before because I stopped watching it. But I've seen her be inappropriate sometimes with the men that will audition or who are on the show that she finds attractive. She has been inappropriate. That's why people don't like her. And as much as like Trudeau has made some choice decisions, for
I mean, in
example,
terms of like
blackface,
yeah,
um,
oh yeah, like I'm used to oh yes,
but
I forgot about that. Yeah,
yeah, I
jeez,
think I don't want to make excuses, but as a black person, I can
I
try
mean,
to make some excuses for him here. I think that was during a time where we just were not educated enough on whether or not you
Right.
should or should not be doing this.
Yeah.
Katy Perry knows she should not be inappropriate with men or anyone, and yet she's still doing that. So, I think that's the problem, that people have a little bit more hate
Is
towards Katy Perry
she's
than
still
they do
doing is she
towards
still doing that? I
well, she's not on
don't
Idol
think I
anymore, but she was doing it for I think it was a few different instances during the course of her time on Idol, and she was
probably
getting hate while she was still on the show about being inappropriate with people, and she was still doing it after that. She doesn't learn, she doesn't care.
uh, maybe she
The thing
was
about
like,
Katy Perry is that she thinks that she can get away with things.
maybe
She's
she
a
was
woman who
she
grew up in with a silver spoon in her mouth, so I think she thinks that she doesn't she doesn't have to answer for herself.
I mean, I feel like that's almost not almost every host, but, like, when it comes
She's
to,
not a
like,
host, she was a
Idol
judge.
judge, sorry. It's like when it comes to, like, if they
That's
find
no, I'm gonna stop you right now. That doesn't matter.
mm,
That does not matter, because if it was the this is the problem that people have.
mhm,
If a man did that, that man would not hear the end of it. But when a woman does it, they get, "Oh, well, that's kinda what happens sometimes." No, it shouldn't be happening at all. Doesn't matter if she's a woman or a man. You should not be doing that.
mm.
Men get uncomfortable in situations too. So why is it okay because she's a woman?
Well,
That's
I didn't say it was okay if she
no,
was a
I
woman or
know,
not.
but I
Yeah,
would have to challenge and ask you, would you
mhm.
feel the same way if we were talking about Lionel Richie or Keith Urban or any whoever or Luke Bryan, whoever the
In
heck?
what way did she
She
talk
was,
about
like,
it,
hitting
like
on them hard. I think she was touching them too. Um, Anytime, like, one particular contestant, I don't remember his name, but there was one particular contestant, she was, like, hitting on him, she would, like,
mhm,
touch
mhm.
on him.
Did he complain about it?
I
Or was he
do
okay with
not
it?
remember if he did. I don't
If he
do
was wasn't
but
complaining
again, that does not matter because when you're in that situation,
mhm.
9 times out of 10, you're not going to complain because you do not want it to ruin your chances of making it big or getting your career off the ground
I
or
know,
whatever.
but, like,
That doesn't matter.
usually 9 out of 10, they usually, like, talk about it right after, like, probably,
Not
like, years from
necessarily.
now.
Not
You
necessarily.
mm,
Not necessarily.
and I
I
haven't
think you need to educate yourself a little bit more on that
mhm.
because
No,
if
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, when you're in the situations when you feel uncomfortable and that, like any type of like even when workplace, when your boss like, says something, blah blah blah, all that stuff right in front of like your coworkers and you're just trying to like, work and just but yeah, I know what you're saying. But I'm just trying to say like, like did he did he did he feel that way? Right? Did
like I
he?
said, I don't remember. I know he did
Because
speak about it, but I
we're just
cannot remember what he said
we're just
because it was a
going.
while ago.
I feel I feel like we're just accusing as well. We're just
But
accusing.
again, you're kind of just
I would
feeding
say the
into the
same thing
whole
with a
thing
man
then.
too. I would say the same thing with a man too. I think we're just accusing her of like
But
we're
when
just
it's being aired on television
uh-huh.
and we're seeing
I
it
understand.
actually happening,
I 100% understand that.
that's
But
not
like
accusing, we're seeing it.
I know, but like we're just like saying that she's being, like
Okay, but again, just because he's not complaining about it
mhm.
does not excuse that it's not inappropriate. And if you're actually going to sit here and say that because he's not complaining about it,
I'm
it's
I'm
not a problem, that's
I'm
a
not
problem.
I'm not trying to say it, but
So then what are
I'm
you
trying to help
saying?
her. I'm just trying to help her out
Well,
as
why are
well.
you
Like
trying to help her?
I'm trying to help her case out
But
because at the end of the
why?
day, it's like like maybe she was trying to, you know,
But once is one thing.
Mhm,
multiple times on the same person and then doing it to other people as well is another. There's no excusing that.
mm,
And I don't think, and again, it's just the double standard. You may think you're not doing it, but you are. You actually are
mm,
implementing that double standard that because she's a woman,
mhm. I didn't say I didn't because
that's
she's a
not a
woman. I
big
would
deal.
say that I would like to
But
say
I'd
I would say that
actually
with a man as
disagree
well.
because you haven't done that before. When we've talked about other men
Mhm.
who have been accused of things, you've agreed that they're probably doing that thing. We've talked about it with Diddy. We talked about it with R. Kelly. We've talked about it with other
Well,
people.
because we seen things and heard things, and heard from the
Okay, but
court.
that is exactly what I'm telling you about, like, about Katy Perry. The only
But
difference is
that's
it's not at
actually
the same
within the court.
level.
That's actually within in the court of law, though. That's what
But
I'm
what if
trying to
it
tell
wasn't
you.
though? Then what if it wasn't? You would have said that
If it
Diddy
was
didn't
in
do
the
those
court,
things?
if it was proof and with the court of
But
law,
see, that's the
then yeah.
problem. That's the problem.
Did
I really
well,
do
and
think
then
you need to educate yourself a little bit more because that's a problem. It doesn't have to be in a court of law for it to not be happening.
okay, let's go to the situation, another situation. Amber Heard as well,
Okay?
right? That I woulda, you know, agreed with, like, she was in the wrong as well because it was in the court of law. See, we're gonna go back to, Diddy situation. That's in the court of law as well.
Okay, but what's
We have the
also not in
proof,
the
we
court of
have
law, since you
the
brought up Amber
evidence,
Heard,
etcetera.
is that Johnny Depp was also in the wrong. It's not just
Yeah,
on Amber Heard. Johnny
yeah.
Depp was also in the wrong.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not in
yeah.
the court of
I'm
law.
just giving you an example as well. Like, I'm giving you examples. Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, they were both wrong. Diddy is wrong as well. But like what I'm trying to
Okay,
say, like,
let me say
we're
this.
just
Let me
pointing, we're
say
just
this. Let me say this.
yeah.
Bill Cosby. The
Mhm,
only reason that man was ever brought into the court of law is because of
mhm.
one of his instances was able
Yeah,
to be brought into the court of
yeah,
law. But what
yeah.
if that was not the case? Are you going to stay here and say that that didn't happen then?
I, uh, mm, mm, I'm not. No, I'm
Thank
not
you.
gonna say
So
that.
I've proven my point that it does not have to be in a court of law. If it
But
happened,
has
it happened. We're in a place and time where we're supposed to be believing victims. But you're over here saying, well, if it's not in the court
But
of law, then
you're
we're not
saying
going to
believe
believe
in
victims.
hold on. You're saying believe in victim, but was these people victims that Katy
That
Perry
doesn't matter.
see, now you're not no, see,
Well,
that's
I use
different.
the term
You're calling them
victim
victim.
in that case because you've
Mhm.
brought up Johnny Depp, you've brought up the whatever. So I'm
Yeah,
bringing up Bill Cosby, where
yeah,
those
yeah.
people are his
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
victims if they've come forward. Now, I also said that I do not remember what he said because it was a
Uh,
long time ago, but
mhm.
I also said that he did speak on it.
Right.
But I don't remember exactly what he said.
Mhm,
But at the end of the day, if people are observing her being inappropriate on a television show,
mhm,
making people uncomfortable with the actions that she's doing, that's a problem. Point blank, period. And she needs to stop doing that.
mhm,
She's using the fact that she is a woman in order to be that way with people. Now, I'm not saying she's going to rape a man. I'm not saying she's going to do any of those things. But what I am saying is she's being inappropriate and using her star power to use to her advantage. That's a power play.
mm, mm.
That's a problem. And that needs to stop,
Okay, okay.
which is why she was either, I don't know if she was fired, so I will say that right now, but she did walk away from Idol because of the accusations. That's telling.
Okay. Alright. Well, I haven't watched Idol at all, so, like, I never watched
No,
it. But the
but
thing is
again, that's what I'm trying to say is I
the
actually
thing
did, and I actually
okay,
saw what she
okay.
was doing.
So it was
And
reported that she left on
yes, she's no longer a part of Idol. And like I said,
okay,
I do not know
okay.
if she was
So
fired,
it wasn't just
but she did
basically
walk away because the accusations
okay,
were pretty strong.
okay. So basically, it was basically, you just what you didn't just watch it and just saw that and just basically made
No,
a
it was inappropriate because
okay.
I remember watching with my
It was
mom and being like, "What
reported
is
on
she
the
doing?"
that's why
both
I
me
was
and
trying
her,
to
like, why
that
can't
that's
we
why I was trying to assess a little bit because I
yeah,
was
but
because
again,
I didn't think it was just you just looking at the screen and being like, "Ha, she's
no,
doing that
no,
inappropriate. She's doing
no.
this inappropriate."
No,
Right. So like no,
it
if it
was
w
a
okay.
constant thing, and I think there is a compilation somewhere out there of the
Mhm,
different things that she was doing and saying to mainly the male contestants,
mhm.
but watching it and at first you're thinking, "Okay, whatever, she's just being cute with that guy, whatever." Second time, it's like, "Okay, whatever, she's being a little flirty, fine." By the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th time, you're like, "What is going on?" Why is she why is she like this? And why does she keep doing this? It gets uncomfortable. And we're not talking like you gotta remember too, is this woman is in her 30s. Meanwhile, some of the
Good
people that
time.
she's getting in like she's getting kind of inappropriate with are
Mhm.
18, 19, 20. No more than maybe 20. I think the age limit is 25, I believe. But, the one particular man that I was talking about that, I don't remember his
Mhm.
name. He was maybe 20, and at the time, she's, like, at least 15 years older than him.
She's in
That is
they're both adults.
inappropriate. That
It
is
isn't appropriate. Don't get me wrong. Like if she handled it in that way, that manner. But technically, they're both adults. You're not
doesn't
gonna
matter.
like it. That's they're adults. You're not gonna
Like,
like.
it doesn't
18
matter.
year old is an adult. You're not gonna like it. I don't like it in that type of way because
It doesn't
it's a
matter.
30-year-old. It's a 30-year-old woman with an 18-year-old man. That's too
Okay,
young.
but
But
do
at the
you
same time,
think that
at
if
this
you were that age and
uh
someone is coming on to you who's older
mhm.
and you don't want that,
For me,
do you
I will actually
not
want
think that that
for me.
woman can take advantage of you? Because it happens all the time.
For well,
It does
that's
happen.
yeah, it does happen, but for me, I'm a different story. I like
Okay,
older
you
women,
may
so,
think
like,
you're
yeah,
different, but so
yeah,
does every
yeah,
other
and
woman.
but, that's why I said I was a different story. Everybody thinks differently, so, like, at the end of the day, like,
But I'm not
some
talking
people
about
might
you
so
acted thinking differently. I'm
yeah, no,
asking you to put
I'm just
yourself
saying
in
that
that
I'm
scenario.
I'm going in a scenario where other people have, you know, their different, uh no, I wouldn't say ideology or, uh, uh mindset of not liking what they like or not liking
I am not
that
talking about liking what you like. I am
no,
not
no, no, I
talking
mean
about
I
any of
mean
that.
and people and other people not liking what they like. That's what
Okay,
I'm saying.
but again, I'm not even talking about that because that
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
yeah,
I'm talking about a person wants what they want,
uh-huh.
despite the fact that you don't, and they don't give a that you don't. That's different. And we have to stop this stigma that it doesn't happen to men because it does. And when you're sitting here and you're saying to me, "Well, I think different," that's lovely. I love that
Okay, yeah, that's
you
cool. No,
think
I'm just saying
different.
but you were asking me that
However,
but you were asking me, that's why I was saying
but
that.
but I was asking you to put yourself in that scenario,
Uh-huh.
not do the
Oh,
cop
okay,
out
that's what
thing
I'm
and
saying.
say, "Oh, I
I
think
just
differently." That's not what I
okay,
asked
oh,
from
okay,
you.
okay, okay. Well, like, the problem is I can't see myself in that scenario.
And you know what? I'm
If it's
happy
someone
that you
that I
don't.
don't like, then obviously yes.
Now, I'm
But, like,
happy
if it's
that you can't put yourself there.
I can't
Unfortunately, though, for some men
yes,
and
yes,
obviously women,
mhm.
we
Yeah, no,
also would like to be like, we can't think of ourselves in those situations, but
yes.
we
Yeah, yeah,
are
yeah, yeah,
we have been put in those situations,
yeah.
and there are men that have been put in those
Oh,
situations,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but
right?
it's like I said, obviously, if somebody I just don't have no interest or I don't like, then yeah, that I would definitely yeah, yeah, but,
Okay,
like
but
yeah,
again,
yeah,
there are I'll say this straight up right now.
yeah, yeah.
I've been open about it. I have been
Mhm,
in situations where I've
mhm.
been put
Oh, no,
in
yeah.
situations that I did not want to be in.
Oh, yeah, no, no, no,
Sometimes
no.
it started
Yeah.
off consensual, other times it was not ever at all
Mhm.
consensual. But I didn't want to either. I didn't want to.
Oh,
I wasn't at all interested in
mhm,
what that person wanted to do.
mhm,
But guess what I had to do to
mhm.
survive? You just do it.
It's just
So
yeah,
those are situations that men also can be put into.
Mhm.
there is a person who talked about it on a reality show,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
who said that he wanted to wait till marriage. Unfortunately, he didn't.
Yep.
Unfortunately for him, he didn't.
Yeah.
He was forced to have sex,
Yep.
and you're thinking,
I heard
how,
stories like that. Yeah. No.
right?
Yeah.
And he it would have come across as if he consented. He really didn't. So
Mhm.
that's what I mean is now that's way beyond the Katy Perry thing, but
Mhm. Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
we just have to be a little bit more careful of what we put out there because, we 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 see I think I've seen a lot, especially after watching, like, different reality shows and stuff like that,
Mhm.
of the double standard
Mhm.
of men can't get away with certain things, but women tend to seem to when they're doing the
Yeah. No.
exact same
Like
thing a
no.
man is
Yeah. No.
doing.
No. No. Yeah. 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 Yes. Yes.
So that's
Yes. Yeah.
why, like,
No. No.
I'm
Yeah.
writing hard for the fact that, like, Katy Perry has made some choice decision. I'm not saying she's a bad person.
Mhm.
I would hope that she's not, but I would say, she's made poor choices,
Mhm.
whether
Mhm.
that is really how she feels or she did it up for the camera. Whichever you want to put it, though, not cool. Not
Well,
cool.
she does. She does feel. See, and here's the immature mindset as well. Like I do agree with you. She has that immature mindset
Yeah.
as well as an older woman. She's in her 40s now, right?
Jesus Lord.
And
Yeah.
she did say that Justin Trudeau makes her feel like a teenager, and I'm like,
Oh, girl, shut up. You already did the teenage
again,
dream
and
thing
I
with
was
Russell Brand.
like, oh
You already
geez, and
did the teenage dream
yeah,
thing,
but
and it
they
was a
went to
hit. Like,
they went yeah, yeah, they went to
let it go.
Coachella and they dressed like,
She's literally singing her
Y
own song in her head
yeah,
as she's, like, literally
yeah, they went to control which I have no problem with people go yeah, 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 yeah. Which I have no problem people going to Coachella, having a good time,
No,
etcetera,
no,
dressing
nothing
like
like
they're
that.
back in their, in their 20s, etcetera. No problem with that, no problem.
She's a
But they
mom,
just
y'all. She's a
when you just
mother.
confirm to Justin Trudeau what you just said,
She's a
right?
mother
It just makes
of
you
a
think that
daughter.
your mindset and I understand that you're in love, but
Yeah, but
your
I mean,
mindset is just I'm thinking that, you know, that's where your mind goes in terms of like, that's how you feel
like,
like
we all go
you
through the
wanna feel like a
honeymoon
teenager.
stage in a
Yeah,
relationship, right? And that can go through stages.
yeah.
But I feel like how long has it been now? Almost a year? Or has it been a year? Almost a year? I
I
don't know how
think
long
it's
it's been.
close to it's almost a year now
Okay,
within
get off of it. The honeymoon stage is over. He's not new anymore. Come on. Like,
uh,
get over it. By
and
the by the year mark, I'm like, whatever. Same old, same old. Like, I'm obviously like, I still love you and everything, but I'm
mhm,
not like over here being like, yeah, I'm living in a teenage dream like she is. Like, at a year
mm,
in and I'm in my
yeah,
40s. Like,
yeah,
what?
yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah,
But that's the
huh.
thing. And I mean, again, I don't wanna, like, fault her. If that's how she operates, fine.
I mean, yeah, that's
But I
her.
feel
Yeah,
like she really dives in deep for these men that she's been with. She did it with Russell Brand. She did it with Orlando Bloom. She no, I can't say that. She kinda, like, seemed
mhm,
to ride hard for our Pats at one point. There were
mhm,
rumors that they dated
mhm.
at some point. Didn't go anywhere. She has a thing for British men, if
Yeah,
you couldn't tell. But, I mean, same for the
yeah,
same.
yeah,
But now she's doing it with Justin Trudeau, where it's like, it's not that serious.
yeah,
It's not
yeah.
that serious. Like, Justin Trudeau,
It's
I get it. He's good looking, but, like, come on.
yeah, I mean, he's a leader. He used to be a prime minister,
Ugh.
leader of a country,
I kinda wish you would
He
just go back to dating British men.
I mean, she feels like
Go back to
she's,
dating British men, please.
eh, hey,
I don't know which British men are on the market at the moment, but
uh,
yeah. I
anyways,
don't
yeah,
think any
like
of them are.
it is, yeah, yeah, like I just want to say that everybody has their issues, like okay, at one point, but like I guess she kind of has grown out
I don't
of
know.
that, kind of in a
It's hard to
way.
say because we
It's hard. It's
haven't.
hard because like she
It's hard
just
to
said
say.
she kind of just said that, but like then again,
And then she also said what she said after Blue
she's with
Origin.
a huh?
She also said what she said after Blue Origin too, which was also kind of tone deaf, which was only
What did she say?
I can't remember now, but I remember she said something fairly tone deaf um after they came back.
The
Um
landing. I remember she said like
I can't remember what she said.
Earth or some. I can't.
Something to do with space. Yeah, I can't remember what she said, but I remember it being very tone deaf and people complaining it was tone deaf.
I
Um,
mean, she might be out of touch, and that's
that's also the other thing that
and that's
people
kind
said,
of
she's
fine
out of
when you're like
touch.
40 and fif 50, but then again, you say you're then
She's
again,
living
you
a
said you
teenage
feel
dream.
like a yeah. It's
She's
you're
no
supposed to
longer
be
wide
kinda
awake,
in
y'all.
touch
She's
with a
living
lot
a
of things
teenage dream.
if you feel like you're in a you're supposed to be in touch
No, no,
when it
listen,
comes to
listen, listen. She went from being wide awake, and again, if you know her music,
mm,
she went from being wide awake to now she's being back into the teenage dream again. It's fine. It's whatever.
mm,
And then she's gonna be like, "You're hot and you're cold," and then maybe she'll go back to kissing a girl. Who knows? I think that's where she needs to be. Just go ahead and
um,
kiss a girl and
no, no, I can just stay with those 2 though,
why?
just
There are other men.
I know they seem happy with each other, so,
Whatever. I don't
yeah,
care. Whatever. I
yeah,
really
yeah,
don't care.
but I was just
I have
I
my
don't
own
wanna
relationship to think
I
about.
just wanted to stay away from the orange man because he's a bunch of
Oh,
negativity,
no,
so,
I'm done
like,
with him now.
yeah, so
Yeah, I'm done with him.
every single time you mention that, "Oh, there's a positive
No, I
positivity." We don't
I
want it.
no, I keep I keep the
We
I
want his
keep
term to end, and that's when the positive
I keep
starts.
the Trump to
Yeah,
a minimum. If I have multiple articles,
yeah.
definitely keep it to a minimum. Keep it quick. Just to put it out there, but
Kamala Harris is, you know, coming back. I like to hear something like that. She's
we're gonna
yeah.
switch topics now. We don't have to keep talking about politics. We
Okay, go
this
ahead.
conversation, I I think this is an interesting one. Now, I know you're not gonna necessarily know the origins and everything, but I'll fill
Mhm,
in.
mhm.
Um, but let's try to get through this one. So this is about the Harry Potter reboot.
Oh.
We've talked about Severus Snape and their choice of actor for this, which is Papa Ezadu, who is a black man.
Oh,
And
yeah,
yeah.
no, I heard about that. No,
Oh yeah,
I was
it's been out there for a while.
indulged.
It's been out there for
There
a
was a
while.
you there was a YouTube named well, if you guys don't know, like, the YouTube named Birdman that did a grifter video based on the YouTubers that had a problem with this actor being black as what's his name?
Papa Ezadu. Oh, you mean
As the
Severus Snape.
no, well, not the actor name, but who's he acting
Severus
for?
Snape.
So yeah, Sarah saying, yeah. So like, yeah, he did it like exposing the grift, blah 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 video,
Well,
and
here's the
then he
thing.
just went, yeah, go ahead,
Here's the thing. Sorry, I'm a Potterhead, so I'm
yeah,
gonna have to go here and put my 2 cents in here. I I do have a problem with
really,
I do because and
wow,
here's the problem. And I realize the issue I have here is interesting because I was one of those people who were yelling at other people about having an issue about a black girl playing Ariel. So I realize the hypocrisy in this.
uh,
And what I'm going to say is the difference for me is the original Ariel was cartoon. Okay. That can be changed.
and the mermaid is not doesn't have a
Mermaid's
race,
fictional, but obviously Severus Snape is also fictional. But he
yes,
has been painted as a white man. In the books, the movies, he was obviously portrayed by Alan Rickman, who I thought did Snape absolute justice. I think the problem here is that it's kind of like the Will Smith effect when he was casted as the genie. People have problems with that as well.
No.
Because we have this idea in our minds of who the genie should be, and that's Robin Williams, right? That's who we picture. Same thing with Snape. We have a picture in our mind of who Snape is. Alan Rickman is the one who brought that character to life, and that's who we picture, and that's what we want as a fandom. So that's the issue we have. Now, am I open-minded and can I have my mind changed by seeing this actor play this role? 1,000%. But know that I'm going to be critical as hell because Snape, there's no one else that could play Snape in my mind but Alan Rickman. And I am going to have that issue with other people who are coming in and playing these characters. The difference is, though, none of those characters are having a race change except for Snape. Now, the reason for this article that I thought was an interesting conversation, which actually gives me more pause and makes me hate this maybe just a little bit more. So, here's what it says. Stepping into a role previously defined by Alan Rickman remains a massive challenge for Ezadu, but the fresh creative direction could completely redefine the way viewers understand Snape's childhood trauma. Now, pause. Snape, as we know, if you're a part of this world, you know that Snape had a pretty hectic childhood. He was pretty much seen as an outcast. He befriends Harry's mother as a child, Lily, and they have this beautiful blossoming friendship until they go to Hogwarts and he is then bullied by who we know as the Murderers, which included James Potter, Harry's dad, Lupin, who was one of the Defense Against Dark Arts teachers, um, Sirius Black, godfather of Harry, and Peter Pettigrew, that guy. But anyways, that is the whole gist here. He went
Huh.
through a lot of darkness. He becomes a Death Eater, aka one of the bad guys, and that's kind of how this whole thing. He had a very dark life, so that's what I want to preface before we continue. So, bringing a person of color into this particular role provides a much clearer, grounded context for his isolation at Hogwarts, which can add even further layers to this already complex character. Basically, what they're trying to tell us is if we make Snape black, his isolation as a black person is going to make it all make sense even more than when a white person played him. The you say? So, wait, we're now using the race card and basically
Mhm.
saying,
Mhm.
well, he's isolated because he's black. What? This makes this story way worse for me because I
Hmm.
don't need this added layer of his blackness to bring across the isolation that Snape felt. I
Say,
don't need it,
see, I don't think that's what's going to happen, in my
but that is
opinion.
what they're literally saying. I
So,
read the whole article.
what
That's
did
basically what
what
they're
did
saying.
J.K. Rowling say, and the director of the series said?
Well, J.K. Rowling isn't saying much here because obviously they're not going to really pinpoint everything that she's saying, although she does have a say in who was casted. Um, but let me say this. So the casting of Papa Ezidue in the role of Severus Snape, who is defined in the book as a white male, doesn't necessarily alter the identity of this dark wizard that we know. However, it is expected to alter the origin story by structurally rewriting his lived experience to explain his lifelong emotional detachment. The Harry Potter books indicate that Snape's bitterness stems almost entirely from his extreme poverty. Let me repeat, and take into account they have just casted a black man for this role. So, the Harry Potter books indicate that Snape's bitterness stems almost entirely from his extreme poverty and his awkward status within a deeply illicit fantasy world. AKA, think of it as a black person in a white person's world. Okay. The reboot implies a much heavier version of this trauma by layering race onto his existing economic and social disadvantages. This marginalization could easily explain why his pain manifests as permanent resentment rather than just a temporary grudge.
Mm.
So, what they mean by temporary grudge, in case you missed it when I said it before, they're trying to make it seem like Snape, well, they do make it seem that Snape has a grudge against James Potter,
Mm.
then in turn against Harry as he gets when he's older,
Mhm.
because Lily was kind of taken away from him. He loved Lily, like he was in love with her. He wanted that life with her, but she chose James. So that that's where they're starting to say, oh, he just had a temporary grudge. Snape did not have a temporary grudge. He hated James Potter. He hated Harry because Harry reminded him of James. There was no temporary grudge that Snape has in the movies and the books. Um, Everything he did eventually come around and whatever and would do what he had to do to save Harry at the end of the day. It was half Lily, but he had a grudge against him from the very beginning. Um, and it lasted. But then when you add now this thing where they want to add his blackness to the reason that he is the way he is, I have to honestly question J.K. Rowling because she did okay this casting. Why? Why is
Mm.
a black person being casted for this role to ultimately be like, okay, well, the reason he's lives in poverty is because, well, he comes from a black family, or because
Is
he has social awkwardness or whatever. Well, it's because he comes from a black family.
so
Why is that extra layer needed?
so who written the article? Like, who's the article who? Because I don't like when people just write articles because it could be anybody that wrote that article. It could be someone
Well, it
that's
doesn't
like,
say it's an
great.
opinion piece because usually
Okay,
articles will say it's an opinion piece. I
yeah.
tend to avoid those. This
What's
is not
the
an
what's the
opinion
website
piece.
called?
It's CBR. Hold on. Pull up here. Yeah, CBR, like I see who it's written by, but it's not necessarily saying it's an opinion piece because you can tell by the way they are writing it that
Did
it's an
they
opinion
interview the
piece.
director?
Not all articles are going to
No,
interview a
like, but
director.
I mean, yeah, but did they get the like their source from the like
Well, I don't
the
know who the
director
source
or the
is, and
writer?
not all articles are obviously going to say what their source is. That's
Ah,
usually kept under wraps.
interesting.
But
Yeah.
that doesn't change the fact, though, that this is coming from somewhere.
Mm. I
And again,
mm.
as a person who knows these books, and I can see on the one hand, you're saying all of the accuracies about Snape's character, and then you're adding the fact that there's a black actor playing him,
Yeah.
that
I,
I don't think there's anything incorrect about what this article is saying.
mhm. See, the black actor, I understand because a lot of black actors tend to ace it. It doesn't matter if
Oh, no,
they
I'm not
put
saying that he
when it
isn't
comes to
going
their
to.
background to use they use their background to take advantage of the like of their character. Know what I'm trying to say? Like
No,
they
I'm
use
not saying that he is not going to kill this role. I am
yeah
not saying that.
yeah.
But when we're dealing with, you know, an author who, you know, comes after certain marginalized communities,
Mm.
I really have to question why all of a sudden you're doing this and this is the reason why you're doing it. I have to say this because, obviously as a person who is a fan of this world, I can also tell you there's not a lot of black representation in this movie, which
Serious.
on the one hand, you're adding a black actor now
Oh
to
yeah, the
this
movie, the
role
original.
playing
So
who's supposed to be a white man
mhm.
that can be great. But then when you're literally now telling me that along with the darkness that Snape already had, that was already implied and put in the books, in the
Mhm.
movies, now you want to add an extra layer to it with the fact that he is a black man, that in and of itself feels kind of icky, especially when we're talking about
Yeah,
J.K.
yeah,
Rowling,
huh.
because J.K. Rowling is a part of this. It's not like she's not a part of this. She is.
Yeah, she is a
So I
part of
have
it.
to question why.
So there is report that says J.K. Rowling has stated that she will not exercise her power to sack actors over
No, I
different
don't think they're gonna sack
beliefs,
the actor.
uh, despite personal preference for keeping characters true to their book descriptions.
Okay, so then who did this then? The director? Or not so much director. Director wouldn't be so much in terms of casting. It's casting will be done by different people. So that's I guess
Uh, and this is reported by
I
Hollywood
have to
Report.
wait
Yeah,
to see the show and see how
you
he
have to.
plays
Yeah, you
this
have to
role,
wait. I wouldn't put
which
too
is
much
not
power in the
an
article.
issue. I don't have an
Yeah,
issue with that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's one
yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But because initially we're not going to get a lot of Snape's origin story. Snape's origin story really does not start to flourish
Hmm.
until the fifth movie. So
See the
that's
only.
probably not going to happen until, depending on how they do this, 5 seasons from
Yeah,
now or
yeah.
whatever, which is fine.
I think.
But that's
Yeah,
why I have to question, as a person who not only adores these books, adores
yeah,
these characters,
yeah.
I have to be like, do not add an extra layer to Snape, because I feel like that can cause issues for this franchise when you're dealing with people who know this story, who know these characters, and are going to be like, what are you actually doing here? Like, why are you doing this?
Hmm.
Why are you adding? I don't care. You want to put a black man in this role? Don't have a problem with it. Really,
Okay,
truly,
I
I
see.
will
I
get
see.
over it.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm stuck in my mind of, no, I see Alan Rickman. What is this? I'll get over it.
Uh-huh.
But it's hard for me to get over it when you're now talking about his blackness, adding a layer, or,
Yeah.
the blackness of the character, not the actor, the character, adding
Yeah.
the blackness to
Mhm.
the character for reasons
Mhm. See,
that I have a problem with.
see the problem is that I wouldn't put too much real estate in the article, but like I don't know. Maybe we'll see it with the
But
maybe
it
you'll
does
see it
add
with the
an
show.
answer for
Maybe
me
yeah,
as a fan of this.
yeah.
And it doesn't add an answer as to why are you changing the color of this character's skin when it's always been implied that he was a white man.
Mhm.
Snape has been portrayed as a white man since the 90s. All of a sudden, you're now portraying him as a black man 30 years later. So that asks an answer as to why you're doing that. Or, which could be worse for me, or you're using the blackness of the actor to add the extra layer now to the character so that people can get behind it, which
Mm,
that's worse to me too, because I'm like, why do that? Why not just let the actor play the role of the character without doing that?
mm,
Because Snape is dark already. He is dark. He is mysterious.
mhm,
He doesn't need that. He
mhm,
doesn't need that extra layer. And if
mm,
this actor will play this role correctly, trust me, you don't need that extra layer.
mhm,
He will be perfect without it.
mm.
Just the way Alan Rickman was perfect.
Mm.
He can do it. I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm hopeful.
Yeah, yeah, no, like yeah, I believe that the actor can do it. Like the only problem I had, a time that I had a problem with race swap was like the Batgirl, the when they did Batgirl
Okay,
season
but
one and season two.
why was there an issue with that? But there wasn't an issue. There's not
Because
an
the
issue for
problem
this.
with that, it was mid-season and they,
Oh.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
they
Got it.
went they went they went like white actor the
Mhm.
first season and then she didn't want to do it and then they went to
Okay, yeah, that's weird.
Swallow.
That's weird.
That's kind of
That's weird.
like yeah,
Yeah, no, I get it.
yeah.
That's
So
weird.
like that was the only problem I had. It was like, so like otherwise than that, I have no problem
Yeah, no,
with
listen,
race swaps and
I'm I mean,
like
I guess for me, I have an
I
issue with the
wait.
race swap only because I'm used to what I'm used to. I've been
Oh.
watching these movies since I was 10 years old, been reading these
Mhm,
books since around the same time, 9, 10 years old. I'm used to what I am used to. I've pictured Snape in my mind since the very well, Alan Rickman as Snape in my mind from the very beginning. So as a
mhm,
person who's been with this universe
mhm,
for 25 years,
mhm,
this is a change for me that I
mhm,
may or may not get used to.
mhm,
But I just don't want the quality of this character who, you know, is very much beloved by by the fans. I don't want that character to get lost
I
because you're trying to fit this actor into this role that was actually meant for a white person. So I don't want that. And I am all about adding, you know, different backgrounds and ethnicities and to this universe. I think it's needed because as I just mentioned, there wasn't a lot of people of color represented in this movie. There's maybe 2 black people or, well, 3 black people that I can think off top of my head right now, 1 Asian person off the top of my head right now. Not a lot of representation of people of color. So I'm all about it, of adding that, but I think it can get very messy when you're messing with the the top characters of this universe, Snape being one of those people. So but I'll be open-minded. We'll see
mhm,
how it goes.
yeah,
I hope that they're not going to mess too much with his backstory,
mhm,
because I think his backstory was enough for what what we see and what we get.
mhm.
He doesn't need the fluff. But anyways.
Yeah, I just, like, dislike it when people, when people, like, directors hire, uh, black people for those types of roles. If it's true, right, based on their, their race
I feel like
and when it
it's
comes to the character, because the character is dark and evil, so
which
based
I'll
on
say this.
uh, uh,
Snape comes across as an evil character for the
uh-huh,
duration, for the most part, the duration of the movies until the very end when you do get the truth, he's not evil. Um, so I think that can be a beautiful thing to see with this character, um, when that time comes and that is revealed, um, which will be down the road if they do get renewed for another season. But um, I think that can be a beautiful thing, but you're correct. This character throughout those, you know, 7 books is a dark character. And, he wears black robes, he has black hair, he has the alabaster skin. He's very dark and and mysterious, as I said. So, yeah, I think I truly wanna believe that he did so well in auditions that they have now tried to tailor him to the role in the sense of, so he's black, let's fit the blackness in with this, and I wanna believe that that's what happened more so than anything, which I still don't like, but at least it can make sense for me, than you fishing for a black man because it fits the narrative of what you're trying to create, because I have to question, why are you trying to create that?
mm.
That's that's all I have to say about it. And again, this
So
fandom is hardcore.
yeah,
We'll up. Don't
yeah,
let us get
yeah,
there
yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, I know that we're about to end soon, but like,
Yeah.
like I would like to ask you, do you
Mhm.
have a problem like with any type of race swap in terms of like any like movie, shows, etc. Like,
Well, I didn't have an issue with the race swap with, like, as I mentioned, Little Mermaid. I didn't have an issue with that
yeah,
race
me,
swap.
me neither. Me neither.
Um, Actually, I think she did absolutely incredible.
Hmm.
Um, but again, what I wanna stress, as I mentioned about Snape, is
Hmm.
they didn't use her Blackness to try and reshape the character of Ariel. They kept it as is, done, period. But I do think there are certain situations and certain characters that should not be race swapped. For example, kind of back into the Disney world here, Princess Tiana, who was like the Princess and the Frog type of the one there.
Right. Was she race swap?
No, but there has been rumors that they have been looking at s- changing her race for the live action movie.
To,
That's a complete no-no. She should be a black woman.
to what?
So,
What? To what?
I think they've looked at white. I think they've looked at Latina.
Oh my God.
And I think that's a huge mistake if they were to actually do that.
Do they have Latino princess? I don't remember if they have any Latino
Um,
princess.
Not of like the movies that we would have had,
They don't.
but like if you think of like Encanto,
Uh,
I think she's a little bit of a
uh-huh.
that's a little bit where the representation is, but then again, that's more recent. Um, or like Coco, but I don't think that's not a woman though, it's the
Right.
little boy. But
Princess, so.
yeah, so but I think generally
Yeah.
speaking, the um Latin community is getting a little bit more representation, but in like more modern world.
Yeah. Yeah.
But back then not so much. But again,
Hmm.
think I think it would be a huge mistake if they were to race swap Tiana. I really do. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
and kind of like how like you maybe understand that a little bit more because I don't know if you've seen the movie or whatever, but like you get that a little bit more. That's
Yeah.
how I feel about Snape because I'm
Hmm.
like, but he's supposed to be white. I truly believe that. I know maybe it sounds crazy for me to say this, but I really truly believe it added to the darkness of this white man playing this role. Like I I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. It's gonna take me out a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see. And again, like, why Snape? Why not somebody else? Like, I actually would have accepted if Dumbledore was race swapped more so than Snape. I can actually believe. I can in a world I can believe Dumbledore being a black man with the long beard and everything. That I can believe. I can believe that more than I can believe Snape being a black man. I don't
Hmm.
know. That's just me. Man, and actually, that's not just me. It's
Hmm.
there's other people who would agree that they can't picture Snape as a black man. I don't know if they would agree with me about Dumbledore, but I can get behind that more. There's
Yeah.
just certain characters in this movie that should not be race swapped. Can you imagine a black Malfoy family? No. Can you imagine Voldemort being black? Absolutely not.
So
I
do you remember?
so
Do you remember that animation show? The Scooby Doo one. Uh, I don't know if we talked about it. I don't know if we did. Uh, what's her name? Uh, is it Daphne? No, that's not Daphne.
there's
Uh,
Daphne and then there's Velda.
Velda.
Velda? Yeah.
Yes, they did a show.
Okay.
They animation. They race swapped her.
For the animation?
Yes,
That's weird.
yes, they did that.
See, again,
And
I can't picture that.
yeah, they did that. Uh,
First of all, A, black people aren't getting messed up in this. Secondly,
yeah, the race
I
swap.
can't
Yeah,
picture that.
yeah, yeah. If you check that out, like if you did some research, you'll see it. They did an animation. So they did 2 seasons based on it, and they canceled it.
Yeah, I wonder
Right?
why. Because they
Yeah,
made
it
her
wasn't.
black.
Yeah, it wasn't good, and it was done in like poor taste in a lot of ways. Cause like
And
they
that's how I
did.
feel about Snape.
Yeah, cause they did the animation based on Black American uh culture.
Mhm.
So like the whole show was basically like humor around that as well,
Mhm.
and and pop culture as well. Like it was a mix of Black American culture with the pop culture as well, and it was just done in poor taste in a lot of ways. I think, yeah, and they had Shaggy as a black character too.
Oh, I hate it. Oh,
Yeah,
I hate it here.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
Shaggy is supposed to be, like, high all the time and stuff like that.
yeah,
So you're gonna
yes,
have a black man play being like, or have Shaggy
yes.
as a black man? Come
Yeah, yeah.
on.
Yeah, it was done in poor taste.
Oh,
Another
that's
one that was done
horrible.
none of that was done in decent kind of taste, I would say, the Ninja Turtles, right?
Yeah.
April has been race swapped
I don't know who
in the
that
animation.
is.
It the world that's always, like, around the
Nicole,
Ninja Turtles.
I have
You
not
never
watched enough
you have
Ninja
watched Ninja
Turtles
Turtles?
to know that there's
Okay,
any
so
humans in the
yeah.
show.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
sorry
So,
about
yeah,
it.
those are that was a decent one. This was like the Scooby Doo and Velma
But I
was
can
basically done in
understand,
poor
like,
taste.
sometimes you're going to race swap, like,
Mhm.
as long as it's done in good taste, like, you're race
Yes, yes,
swapping, that kinda
yes. I
thing,
don't mind. Yeah,
I
I don't.
can get
Yeah,
that, but when you're
yeah.
having, like, a a high Shaggy who always gets the munchies being a black man, like, that's messed up. Like,
Mhm.
that's messed up.
Yeah.
And, again, that's how I feel about having, a black character potentially being, um, poverty-ridden and, having social awkwardness and, that be the reason why and because he's an out. Because again, like, Snape is considered an outcast. So when he or was,
Mhm.
um, never being able to do the defense against the dark arts class and always had to be a potions professor and, be pissed off about it.
Yeah,
So he was always considered, like, kind of like an
yeah,
outcast.
yeah, yeah.
So when you add a black character playing that, it's like or black actor playing that character, it's like, "Oh, this is gonna get this is gonna get bad." And, again, I wasn't thinking about it until I read that article, and, again, I wasn't even thinking it was going to be anything quite like that, but when it was put out there, I'm like, "Huh, that's a good point." Like, that makes you wonder, again, why? But maybe the why will be answered that, he did an amazing job, and again, he probably did. He probably watched hours upon hours of Alan Rickman masterfully playing this character and took from that, and I get it. And I hope that that is the only reason, truly, and
Well,
not being like, "Oh, well, he's black and an outcast." I don't like that.
mhm, mhm. Well, like we said, basically, we like it when it's done in great taste, but not in poor taste. So,
Yeah, and again, too, well, let's think about this part.
yeah.
I don't know what year Snape technically was born in, but a lot of the tension and stuff like that for him would have been roughly around the early to mid 70s during a time when racism was rampant
Mhm, mhm,
in most of the world, but especially in England. Um, Racism was very bad.
mm,
So there's also like that too, where it's like, "Oh, okay, so we're just having that, and then just layers upon layers
mhm.
that, were not there before for this character." But, yeah.
Yep, yeah, yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
Well, I'm done.
Alright,
That was it.
alright. Yep, that was it for me too. Um, um, yeah, yeah. Okay, alright.
Yeah, so
We'll
we'll
see you.
be
Go
back
on.
tomorrow with another
Yeah,
episode.
mhm.
Um, and yeah, that's basically
Okay,
it, and then our 200th episode, I mentioned it in tomorrow's episode too, but 200th episode is coming up soon. It's coming up
Mhm,
on
mhm,
Monday.
mhm.
There's going to be having a
Yeah,
similar type conversation like this, except
yeah,
way lighter. And,
yeah,
but yeah,
yeah. Okay.
that's it.
Alright. Peace, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
If you liked what you heard with our podcast, you can head on over to our website, which is solo.to/next take podcast. There you can get any of the links to any of our social media, which is Facebook, Instagram at Next Take Podcast, and Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Next Take Pod. You can also find links to our Reddit page and many other things, I'm sure. Can't remember all off the top of my head. You can also email us at mikeltanyka@gmail.com. There you can send us any inquiries that you have, any questions, or also any episode ideas. And if you do have episode ideas, just make sure you put in the subject line episode ideas, and we'll add it to our list. If you also liked us, you can like us, rate us, follow us on any of your favorite podcast apps. You can rate us, however, on Spotify and Apple Podcast. We would greatly appreciate that. And we'll also move forward and share or spot a light on those who give us 5-star ratings in the future. That is it for us. We'll see you next time for the episode.